Yeah, so hi guys, this is Shadow Girl Sherry coming to hang out with you guys tonight. And when I say coming to hang out, I guess I'm just going to be hanging out with whoever, of course, decides to join this live. Um, what is this live going to be about? I was trying to think about, what am I going to title this live? What am I going to call it? How am I going to call my crew in? Um, how am I going to call my crew in? Um, And at first, I thought about maybe calling it like a spring fling, like hangout. But look, and guys, I apologize. For whatever reason, the picture is kind of messing up right now. I hope it's gonna stop doing that. Okay, I've got my I've got my phone settled, so maybe that'll stop. It'll stop doing what it was just doing a second ago. But again, this is Shadow Girl Sherry coming to hang out with whoever is going to come out and hang out with me. Um, it's a beautiful like spring night, and it just makes you think about wanting to hang out a little bit longer, right? Because we're experiencing these longer days now because it's spring. I'm going to be reading it down through my notes. I have notes that I have saved back. This is going to be, I don't know if I've said it already, but this is going to be a continuation basically of what I was talking about on Friday night, which Friday was the first day of spring. And with that being said, I had a lot of information that I had taken down in my notes, and I kind of figured at one point that I had to kind of shut the live down because I don't live alone and stuff, and I have to be respectful and all that. And it was getting a little bit later, and that was actually the longest live I have actually held. I've actually held or had or whatever you want to call it. So it actually went like 3 hours long. But anyhow, 3 hours long. And I'm saying that word there, but you'll catch it as I go along. But as I go along, and there I go again. But anyhow, guys, I'm hoping that everyone is going to understand, like, you're going to get the message of what I'm talking about. Because again, I'm going to be talking about like the idea. I was thinking, do I want to call it a spring fling? Or, am I going to call it a spring like fling hangout? Or am I going to, I just decided to go ahead and go with spring things. And I'm going to explain that. I'm going to be going down through my notes and everything. But again, I'm going to be talking about spring. But because spring, whenever you have the spring equinox, you have the summer solstice, you have the first day of fall, um, autumn equinox, you have the winter solstice. At these four different points during the year, there's a different type of energy that comes about, with these different parts of the wheel of the year. And basically, you're going to understand it as I go through my notes. It really is. Thank you so much for the hearts this early into the video. Thank you so much into this live. Thank you so much. Um, Guys, my throat's tickling a little bit, so I've got my water here, and I apologize, and you're going to hear me sipping water here in just a second, but I do have a pretty good amount of stuff to cover tonight. But again, and look at the picture. I don't know why it's messing up like that, but anyhow, again, I hope you're going to understand, you're going to get what I'm saying as I go through my notes. At these different points during the year, there's this type of energy that comes about because, let me kind of explain. I should just go through my notes, but basically, there is a feminine and a masculine energy. It's said that, obviously, oh man, I'm not liking what is going on with the picture, guys. I do apologize for this. I don't know what's going on, but guys, I think I did a pretty good job coming up with, the visual that I wanted you guys to look at. And you're going to know what I'm talking about as I keep talking and whatnot. It's going to all make sense. And you probably already know anyway, but there is, at these different points of the year, the feminine and the masculine energies are on those days. The very first day of like the autumn what is it? Autumn equinox, the winter solstice, then, obviously spring equinox, whatever you want to call it, summer solstice, all that. These very first days of this, you get what I'm saying. The feminine and the masculine energy come together in like a perfect balance. I'm going to be explaining it more and more. So with that being said, that's what you are looking at right now. Now on the right or on the left side of the screen, you have the feminine energy. And guys, I go by the name Shadow Girl Sherry. Should I explain that tonight? I think you'll get it the more I go on. I mean, guys, if you're watching this video right now, I'll go ahead and quickly say I go by the name Shadow Girl Sherry. Obviously because I don't appear in my videos. And with that, you see my avatar, and my avatar is basically, that's the real picture of my real silhouette. But I've said it so many times before, and I don't want to waste a lot of time on it. I came to find out I had already been calling myself Shadow Girl Sherry. My channel is called Sunset Songs, and what is a sunset? It's the energy of darkness and light. And I've been saying it lately that when I think about a sunset, I think about the energy of like dark and light, and they have met up, and it's kind of like a kiss between the two, right? That's the way I look at it. And, I am also a Gemini. So a Gemini is the energy of two. Okay, so I kind of think about that feminine and the masculine. If you know anything about tarot cards, I'll even quickly say this, that when it comes to Gemini, all of the zodiac signs, and for Gemini, it is the mascot or the sign or symbol that goes along with Gemini is the twins. So it's two of the same. Or you could say two halves of the same coin, two different sides of the same coin. And, like looking in a mirror, reflection, whatever. So it's the twins. In the tarot card, every zodiac sign basically has like, a couple of different tarot cards, obviously. But a main tarot card that really corresponds with each zodiac sign. And the tarot card that corresponds with Gemini energy is the Lover's Tarot card. Now, in that tarot card, there's the energy of two. There is the feminine and the masculine. And basically, it's a male and a female, and it's basically the Garden of Eden. I don't want to go too far into it, but this is kind of what I think about. I can't help it. We just had a new moon in the sign of Pisces. So I know that energy of Pisces, and then, Aries season began and all that, but I can't help that when we have the balance of, like, again, the spring equinox, the winter solstice, these different energies come together. I often think about Gemini altogether because it's two, and it's a feminine and a masculine. And in the Lover's Tarot card, if you're familiar with tarot cards, it's basically a scene of the Garden of Eden, okay? And it's the male and the feminine. And but it's basically two sides of the same coin. I don't want to go too far into that. But again, I go by the name Shadow Girl Sherry, and I find it so funny that I got to a point where, I already knew I'm a Gemini. I'm a Gemini sun, and I am a Leo moon. But let me put this all together here. You've got a Gemini, and then you have a tarot card that's got a male and a female energy. You've got, I'm calling I'm putting it all together. I call my channel Sunset Songs. So that is the energy of a male and female. Like, it's the sun and the moon coming together. And I've been saying it lately. I look at a sunset kind of like the sun and the moon just kissed each other, right? And I just put it all together. It's so funny how it all comes together, that I go by the name Shadow Girl Sherry. I'm a Gemini, the sun and the moon and all this different stuff. And I'm going to take it from there, right? But I'm going to quickly say that if you are watching this, I'm just going to make the suggestion that because you are watching a video, and you're listening to the sound of a voice, someone that goes by the name Shadow Girl, okay? And with that thought, I'm just making the suggestion that maybe it may mean that you may need to do a little bit of shadow work as well. And shadow work, um, it seems like it's become like a more popular subject lately, unless it's just popping up in my feed because when I first started making my channel, I wasn't going by the name Shadow Girl. But after a little bit, I looked at it and I'm like, okay, I'm not showing up in my videos, whatever. This kind of makes it, shadowy like. So I started calling myself Shadow Girl Sherry. Then these videos kept obviously popping up in the algorithm. And I'll quickly say this, a lot of videos by Shira7, if you know who she is. I mean, can I get anyone to say, you know who Shira7 is? Or if you're feeling what I'm saying, to leave me a heart or something. And obviously I got that from the beginning, and I'm so appreciative of that. But again, guys, the videos, the algorithm just kept picking up and sending me videos about shadow work. And I got some videos by Shira7. I looked into all this different stuff. After a while, I started looking at the videos about, Shira7 and shadow work and all that different stuff. And then I found out what shadow work was. It makes sense to me. Kind of work with your inner child, see what's going on. It's just, it seems like the videos come to me, but I think it's kind of like a popular subject now, just like I think that a lot of people are deep diving into spirituality. So I'll leave it there. But that's basically what you're looking at right now. You are looking at the energy of shadow and light, and that is really what the spring equinox, whatever you want to call it, that's really what that energy was intense at that point. And it's like, it was like a balance between the two. So being that what you were looking at right now, I've said it before here lately. Obviously I've said it in a lot of my videos that I, Shadow Girl Sherry, am African American. So I don't show up in my videos. And the image that you're looking at right now, that's not me. Just lately, I just came up with the idea that I wanted to have I wanted to come up with something for you to look at, something for you to view. And instead of it just being a scene, I'm going to put an image of an African American female in it. And that would stand in for me. Now, a lot of the videos, for a while until, at some point I'll decide that I'm going to show up in my videos or whatever. But until then, these are going to be different images that I'm going to be showing. And that African American woman it basically stands in for me. And a lot of these, for a while, I'm feeling like, and in the last couple videos, I've actually made the female where she's veiled, and you can make out her face, but she's just got a veil over top of her. And guys, come on now, that's just shadow-like. So it's mysterious. That's the whole idea about it. And I think everybody likes a good mystery, right? I really do think that everybody likes a good mystery. When everything is revealed, and if you knew every little thing about life, it would be boring. It's to me, it's kind of fun to go page by page and play the game and see what happens. And yeah, mystery. I think everybody likes a good mystery. That's why we like to watch different movies and books and so on and so forth. So Shadow Girl Sherry. But again, what you're looking at, you see Shadow Girl, and then Sherry is in the sun. And basically, as I'm walking forward, we are looking ahead. That's what you're looking at. Like, the balance between day and night was equal at that point. And so basically what I decided to do was just have the avatar, or whatever you want to call it, that's standing in for me. I'm going to have her walking forward. She's kind of leaving the dark behind, because guys, gradually, day by day, it's going to be longer nights. longer days. The days are going to be becoming longer and longer, whereas the nights are getting shorter and shorter. So that feminine energy is, kind of it's still there, but the masculine is working in more. And I'm going to be explaining that more as I go through the notes, and it'll become clearer and clearer. But in this, I hope that you're not going to feel like this is kind of weird. I got to explain it. When I think about feminine energy, I think about roses. I think about roses, and I know right now it's not like roses are out right now. The flowers that are prevalent right now, you've got like daffodils. I'm seeing daffodils everywhere. It's like they're waving at me as, when I'm in my car. Like, I'm just seeing them everywhere. I'm seeing a lot of yellow flowers. That goes with that sun energy, happiness, joy, all that, the color of the sun. Seeing a little purple here and there, pinks, stuff like that. But but I can't help the fact that when I think about the feminine energy and it being like really intense, I think about roses. Roses are the highest, they have the highest frequency, when it comes to a flower, okay, is a rose, okay? Now, again, I think roses may start to come maybe at the beginning of summer, May, June, something like that. I think that's the time where roses start to appear. I don't know everything, but that's what I think. I looked up some notes and quick information before I started making the live, but I want to just let you know that I'm aware that roses aren't out right now. Okay. But they're standing in for that dark energy, that feminine energy. And as for the masculine, I am also aware that, you're looking at mushrooms. Okay. And the thing about mushrooms, I looked up and I found out that you see more mushrooms. They come out more when it's more damp, like September, maybe October, fall is more so when you're going to see mushrooms. At least that's what I read quickly before a little bit today. I looked up some information just to make sure that the things that I was saying is going to make sense. And I wanted to just let you know these points. So, but at the same time, when it comes to mushrooms, I read that there's a possibility that there are going to be some mushrooms at this point, this time of year, but not as many as you would see in the fall. Okay. But I can't help the fact that when I think about the feminine energy, I think about that high frequency of roses, the color red. Okay. And, come on now, all women we love roses. Come on now, women, we love roses, right? Okay. And then when it comes to the mushroom, just look at a mushroom. I'm going to be reading, down through everything and you're going to understand what I'm saying. But there was that energy on that first day of spring of the feminine and the masculine energies joining together in perfect harmony. And I said it in the last live that I had, when I first started getting into, the law of attraction. The law of attraction is one thing, and I'll quickly say what the law of attraction is because my channel is all about the law of attraction. The law of attraction is the idea that like attracts like. When you are thinking positive thoughts, when you are doing positive things, you're hanging out with positive people. We all have our experiences. I do definitely believe, obviously, it's a world of duality because we have the sun and then we have the moon, right? Okay, and it's a dance between the two. My channel's called Sunset Songs. I'll say it's a dance between the two. So I'm definitely aware that, there's both energies are present, right? And, but you can make it work for you. You can make it work for you. You don't have to, there are going to be times where there's going to be negative thoughts. I deal with it myself. I've said it before. I deal with depression. I'm not going to talk about it too much, but it's something that I've always had to deal with. And before I really got into the law of attraction, I would sink deeper into the the depression and things like that. And it got to a point where I really noticed this, like, why do certain things continue to seem to keep happening to me? And I had heard about the law of attraction. I got into it and I started to notice the differences and stuff. So it just makes sense to me that, why do you want to think negative thoughts all the time? Why do you want to be Debbie Downer all the time? Okay, why would you want to hang out with a Debbie Downer or a Nancy Negative all the time? There's going to be times where, we have loved ones and different things, and you definitely don't want to leave, your loved ones in the dark. And if they're going through a hard time or whatever, I'm not saying that. We want to be supportive and all that. But the idea is we don't want to stay in that type of energy, because when you're doing the negative things, you're hanging out with the negative people, your one thought leads to another. And, if you're thinking sad thoughts, you're thinking angry thoughts, you're thinking negative thoughts, you're going to attract more of that. You're going to attract people that are sad. You're going to attract more people. And who do sad people know? Who do angry people know? They know each other, right? Okay, so it just feeds off one feeds off of the other. And it gets to a point where, somebody's got to lighten up, okay? And that's just the way I feel like explaining the law of attraction tonight. The idea is like attracts like. With the positive, doing more positive things and all that, you're going to be attracting more positive back into your life. On the other hand, there's two sides to the story. If you are thinking negative thoughts, hanging out with negative people, all that type of stuff, then you're going to be attracting more negative back into your life. And my channel is not about that. I've had enough negative things and to go on. Not about it anymore. Not about it. If I have a negative thought, I'm trying my best to change it over and transmute it. The idea here is there is going to be negativity, but when that negativity comes, we are going to come together as a community and try our best to transmute it and turn it into the positive. That's the idea here. So I've explained that. The other thing, guys, obviously my channel is called Sunset Songs. So what is a sunset song? I've always loved music. I think everybody, we all like music. It makes you feel good, whatever. My idea is that I definitely feel like music can make you feel some type of way. Like if you are in a bad mood, you're sad, whatever. There's been times where I've been in like a mood or like a feeling where, we get sick, the body gets sick or whatever, but sometimes you could not be feeling the best. And then you go and you listen to a positive song, an upbeat song or whatever, or you hang around an upbeat person or what, it makes you feel better. And I won't go into the whole thing about people and all that, because I've said it already, the energy can change a room. One person, one bad apple. I'll just say that, one bad apple. It's not that we want to abandon people, because we don't, you don't want to abandon people. If the whole world could be happy, that would be a wonderful thing. But, we're all experiencing different things at different times. Right. But, basically, again, I definitely feel like music is magical. It can affect you. If you are tired, you want to, get something done, listen to an upbeat, like high tempo song. You want to work out, listen to something with a little tempo to it. Okay. I just want to quickly say also that, ever since I've been going live, for the most part, I've been pretty consistent with coming up with a sunset song. Now, some of my episodes I don't have a sunset song. But specifically when I started going live, and that was more so, I started going live during the Lionsgate's portal. If you're watching this video, you may already know what the Lionsgate's portal was. The Lionsgate's portal took place in August. It happens every year during August. You'll have to look that up because I don't want to waste too much time on it. But I started going live during the Lionsgate's portal. I was nervous and all that, but I faced the stage fright, and If you watch that first video when I went live, when the word stage fright and all that is going to make so much sense to you. I think the first time I went live, it was titled something like lights, camera, action. Okay, and that would explain it. Lights, camera, action. The second, and it was basically like I was going out on a stage, really. I was facing the fear, facing the stage fright, okay? I didn't come out and show you what I look like, but at the same time, I was nervous about going live and, you know, what could go wrong and this and that and the third, and I faced it, okay? And I discovered that I like going live now. I like going live. So that's that. The second time I went live, I think it was something like, again, it was that idea of stepping out onto a stage. And I noticed that when it comes to Leo energy, whenever we have like a Leo full moon, a Leo new moon, and again, that's masculine energy. It's Leo is the sun, the energy of the sun. And I'm going to be reading more about that. Not necessarily Leo, but just in this, obviously, I'm talking about spring. I'm going to be talking about the sun. Okay. And that's the masculine energy. And Leo is just, obviously, it's the symbol that goes, the mascot for Leo is a lion. So that's the king of the jungle. So if you have the king of the jungle with you, what is there to fear? Okay. I'll put it there. So, during that time, I'm like, yeah, I'm a little nervous, whatever. Maybe I was a little bit of a cowardly lion, but this is the time to step out and be bold. So the second time I went live, I titled it something like, The Mirror, a Stage, Not a Cage. And obviously I go by Shadow Girl Sherry. That's a little bit of, you know, hiding, but I just noticed that every time when we have like a Leo full moon or a new moon in Leo or anything like that, if you listen, you start listening yourself, you're going to notice that they're going to be there are different creators that deal with the law of attraction and astrology and all that. You start hearing a lot about stages. You start hearing at that point, at a new moon in Leo, a full moon in Leo. And I wasn't even thinking about that. I wasn't thinking anything about like, okay, at that point I don't think, I may have known I was a Leo moon. I may have known at that point. But one thing I know is in my mind, I kept feeling like a stage, like, are you stage fright, a stage going out? And I just kept thinking of a stage. And the next thing I know, I had a mirror. I turned the mirror upside down. And obviously, because I go by Shadow Girl Sherry, that's like hiding. The mirror is there, but if it's turned upside down, then you can't see me. But I turned that mirror into a stage. And the idea was, okay, I've got to come out on this stage and I got to say something. I've got to do something. I don't know if I'm going to turn I'm going to keep the mirror down, but I looked at it as a floor, like coming out on a stage. And there is this image you've probably seen it before, where there is this little kitten, and the kitten is looking into a mirror. And when the kitten looks into the mirror, obviously a kitten is a cat is a part of a lion is a part of the cat family. So you have this little kitten, and the kitten's looking in the mirror, and there's a lion looking back at him. So, and I always liked that idea, and I kept just feeling like I wasn't thinking about that image, but I kept feeling like I kept thinking a stage, a cage. There's a lion. What would a lion feel like if it was locked up in a cage? These were just the things that were coming to me at that time. The next thing I know, it may have sound crazy. It might sound funny, but I'm just telling you, because when a new moon or anything comes up in Leo, I'm telling you, you're going to start noticing stuff. People talking about going out on the stage and everything like that. And Leos are known to be the part of the zodiac. It's the brightest. It's the brightest. It's the energy of the sun. The first time I went live, I go by my channel's called Sunset Songs. The sunset song, the first time I went live, I picked Madonna, because Madonna is a Leo sun. Okay. And Madonna obviously she loves to perform. She likes to go out on stage. I believe it was 1984, is when she took to the stage. It may have been like the MTV Music Awards or whatever. And here's Madonna out on the stage. I think she may have jumped out of a birthday cake or something like that. And she did Like a Virgin. And she's got a wedding gown on and everything, but you couldn't stop her. She's a Leo. She's a Leo sun. So there's that energy of wanting to be in front of people and perform. Leos are known to want to perform. And I come to find out that I am a Gemini. So that's the energy of 2. And then I come to find out that I'm a Leo moon. And then for whatever reason, I've always been like a type of person where I don't want to be seen. But then when Leo time came around, I had this uncontrollable feeling that I'm like, yeah, I fear it, but I can't keep holding back. At this point in my life, I can't keep holding back. I've got to get out here and do my thing, whether people like it or not. There's going to be people that are going to get my message, and they're going to follow me, and they're going to like it, right? They're going to like it. And then I've said a lot of times that I don't necessarily advertise to people that I know. Like if you're here, it's not like I advertise. It's not like I go and I tell everybody that I know, like that I know every day. Okay, hey, I have a channel. Come and watch it. No, I was a little bit nervous about that because I don't know how people are going to take it. And because I talk about things like that are a little witchy. I never said I don't believe in God. But when I say witchcraft, I'll say it like this. Which way do you want to go? When you wake up in the morning and that sun is hanging up outside for you, outside your window, do you choose to get up and, oh, I'm going to be Debbie Downer all day, and what negative things could happen to me? Or are you looking at it, and not directly at it, obviously, the sun's so bright you can't look directly at it. We all know that. But you were given the gift of a new day, a God-given day, source-given day, whatever you want to call it. I can respect that. But I have to say, I definitely believe in God, but I've always kind of liked witchy things as well. And there's that idea of duality. I am a Gemini. So there are going to be those that would take it the wrong way, see it in the wrong way. And I didn't want to deal with that, right? And right now, guys, I'm even looking at my phone, and I've just noticed a lot of times, I've said it before, when I first started going live, that I noticed the number 69 a lot on my phone when I'm about to go live, and my phone right now is at 69. And that even makes me think about up and down, right? Now, up and down, guys. Now we're thinking about masculine, feminine and masculine. And hey, I want to think we're all adults here, because I always say that for the most part, my videos, I usually say this channel isn't for kids, because I don't want parents to get on and get the wrong idea and think, oh, she's teaching witchcraft and she's teaching my child witchcraft or whatever. Although I have been noticing, I've looked in like, I was looking up different things, and I noticed that even in teen like Vogue or Cosmo or something like that, they're talking about witchy things and little spell work and stuff. But I didn't want to get anything twisted, so I usually mark my videos as they're not for children, although for the most part they're not really bad. I just don't want that confusion. But if you think about, I'm looking at the number 69 on my phone. That's where the battery, how much energy I have left on my phone, 69%. And that's the energy of up and down. Okay. Now, what do we think about when men and women come together? Okay. Up and down motion. Okay. Coming together. And again, hey, I got to say it. We're adults here. It's a number 69. Okay. So, there's that up and down. And even if you look at the number 6, a number 6 is up. But if you were to turn that number 6 down, then you would have a 9. And you get what I'm saying, vice versa. So there's that energy of up and down. So above, so below. And it's just so funny. I didn't start this video thinking that my phone was going to end up at 69%. I looked over in the corner, and that's where it is. And it goes perfectly along with this energy of what I'm going to be talking about tonight. So again, I've said that. That goes together perfect. when I first began this live, it was pretty much a little bit after sunset. So this is perfect as well. And, guys, again, what is a sunset song? I'll say it if you haven't watched any of my other videos or joined any of my other lives. A sunset song, I've already said it, that I have a fondness for music. I love music. I definitely feel like music can be magical. It can change the way you feel. And with that being said, that's the reason why I called my channel Sunset Songs. If you want to get the whole story, basically pretty much the whole story of how I came up with my name, the name for my channel Sunset Songs, I felt pretty good about explaining that on the last time I went live, which was for the spring equinox. That was the last video that I made. I really went in deep, took a deep dive into why I called my channel Sunset Songs. Okay. And I wanted to lay it out at that point when that masculine and feminine energy is there. I love songs. I love music, but I love songs. Always have. But I love music altogether. But the whole, you can get the whole story in that live, and it makes sense because I'm talking about the masculine and the feminine, the sun and the moon. Okay. But basically, what is a sunset song? My idea of a sunset song, I named my channel Sunset Songs. What is a sunset song? A sunset song is right before I go live or I make a video. I basically tell my higher self, my higher self, you might call it my spirit guides, whatever. Put a song in my mind, play a song in my mind, put a song in my heart, play a song on my heart, whatever, that is tailored around whatever the subject matter is that I am going to be talking about in what I'll call that particular episode to my channel Sunset Songs. Okay. And I wait for it to come to my thoughts. And that's what the sunset song is. And basically from that sunset song, I tailor the information that I'm talking about. I weave the two, the song and the subject together. And lately, I decided that I wanted to include the song, the lyrics of the song, and I want to include a little bit of information like what was the inspiration behind the song, and let you know a little bit about the artist. Okay, so I'm going to be weaving all that together. The sunset song that I came up with for the other night for the spring equinox, I thought about that feminine and masculine energy coming together. So I thought about a love song. It's not going to be where you're going to get on my channel and join my lives or any of my videos and they're all going to be about love songs. It's not going to be that way. Again, it's a world of duality. There is going to be times where I might have a sad song. It could be a sad love song. I just try not to do that often. But I do want to discuss all the emotions and everything like that as well, because I believe that we mirror that, like we mirror like the atmosphere, the elements. Okay. There is the sun, there's going to be sunshine, but at the same time, there's going to be rain. But when you think about rain, it doesn't always have to be pain. Okay. There are tears of joy. So I'm going to be talking about all of it. So all the elements, because I really believe that all the elements, just like we have our five senses, all the elements are within us as well. So I'll talk about all of it. I work with all of it, and I just work through the wheel, and that's how we go with it. And even if you think about a wheel, that makes me think about a wheel like driving or whatever like that. When you're driving, it's a circle that kind of looks like a moon. And just wanted to say that sunset songs. Okay. And I know when I'm in my car, I like to listen to music, and be careful and all that, but I like to listen to music. So anyhow, so the other day when the day and the night were equal for spring, which was Friday, I decided, because that feminine and masculine were meeting, face to face and doing what they were doing, because I'm going to be explaining it the more I go down. And if you want to hear the whole thing, just look at that, check out the live that I did and it was the last video that I made, really, because that was the spring equinox. I wanted to focus on the idea of love. And come on now, spring is here. Things are blooming. Things are coming back to life. Now, how did life get here anyway? It's a feminine and a masculine energy. So I wanted to think about a love song, okay, and working from that standpoint. And what's the song that I came up with? Guys, this is an older song, but I can't help that. Okay, Pisces, guys, is we had the last new moon that we had was in the sign of Pisces. If you know anything about Pisces, Pisces is ruled by the planet Neptune. Neptune is very, very dreamy. That can be a good thing, but of course, if you're too dreamy, you can't keep floating along and dream and dream and dream. You got to come leave out of sea and come back to shore sometime. But it's dreamy, daydreamy, all that different stuff. And it can be, it can make, if you're in that energy for too long, it can be delusional because, dreamy stuff can be delusional. It can be secretive, secrets and all that stuff. So all that different stuff. But again, I explained that energy of Pisces. We had a Pisces new moon. I think that may have been Wednesday, a week ago, if I'm not mistaken, I think. But it was a new moon in Pisces. Pisces, again, is ruled by the planet Neptune. Okay. The tarot card that I think that corresponds with Pisces and Pisces is the moon. Okay. And that card is about illusions, delusions, secrets, all that kind of stuff. Okay. So, some secrets and stuff can be sexy, sexy secrets, good secrets, whatever. Not all secrets are bad, but they don't always have to be good as well. So I'll just leave it at that. But so the Sunset Song, guys, it's an older song. It was a song that was made in the 90s. If you go and you check out the video, I always encourage my viewers to check out the video. I try to look at the videos to the Sunset Song that I decide a little bit, right before I make the videos or go live. So I feel the song and it's playing in my heart and in my mind as I'm going through my notes. So I didn't get a chance to do that tonight, but anyhow, I love the song. So, but it's very, very, when I think about this song, it's old and all that. It was made in the 90s, but to me, it whispers spring, and it whispers spring fling, like spring romance, like that newness of spring and a spring fling and love and flowers blooming and that kind of idea. Okay. So the song, the Sunset Song that I had for the first day of spring, for this feminine and masculine energy coming together in harmony, is a song by a guy, he went by the stage name. Here we go, stages. He went by the stage name back at that point, Dino. Okay. And another song that he had, that was popular at one point was, I think it was called I Like It. Okay. And, but he went by the stage name Dino. His real name is Dean Esposito. Okay. And the song is called, 24/7. Okay. And if you check out the video, it's definitely, the video was made in the 90s, or I think it was like 89. I've got the information here. I'm going to be going down through my notes, so you'll hear that here in a little bit. But it's dated. The video's very dated and all that, obviously, because it was made in the late 80s, early 90s. But I can't help that I love this song, and it just makes me think about spring. And it even makes me think about a Neptune-like energy, because it's so dreamy. It's daydreamy, dreamy, romantic, lovey-dovey, all that different stuff. Okay. So that's why I picked the song. Okay. And I hope you'll go and take a listen to it. I'm going to be, for the most part, I got the right lyrics. I got to make sure that I find the right lyrics here in my notes, because I do use a little bit of technology, and it had come up with the wrong lyrics at one point, but then I found the right lyrics. So I'm going to read those to you, and I'm going to be talking about the song, the artist, and this energy of the spring equinox, and what went down. Okay. And that we're still feeling that, like this is a new feeling. This is new. Spring, spring just sprung. I'll put it that way. So Guys, I'm going to be talking, it might sound a little bit funny, um, but just use your imagination, okay? And I will say that when it comes to, I've come to find out that when it comes to manifestation, the law of attraction, that kind of thing, that if you have a vivid imagination, if you can visualize things, um, you have a way in doing that. It makes manifestation easier. Okay, it makes manifestation easier. It's good to be able to visualize, and if you wanted to have a vision board or anything like that, it's a wonderful thing. Okay, the more you can see it, the easier it's going to be for your subconscious mind, which is the feminine part that produces, like, basically gives birth to your life, like what the life that you are living. It is tied to your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind will deliver, and think about that feminine energy, will deliver what you give to it, what you press on it. Okay, the impression, what you press on that feminine energy, which is the subconscious mind, and think about birth, that's what's going to be delivered into your life. That's the way you're going to see your life. And think about women. Women deliver children, okay? And the masculine is the energy of the sun. And the sun is the part that presses the idea or that energy into the feminine, the subconscious. So think about it, the sun and the moon coming together, the feminine and the masculine coming together. And on that day, it was coming together in perfect harmony. And what happens when you have a feminine and a masculine energy come together in harmony, okay? Union, okay? And birth. Like, think about children. And that's why it said that at these different times during the year, that, especially that specific day, the winter solstice, the summer solstice, the fall equinox, spring equinox, the energy's intense. So think about what you're doing. Think about what you're saying, because there's a pretty good chance that somewhere along the line, if you focus about it enough and you continue, something's going to deliver. Okay. Something's going to take root, and that's where the flowers and things are going to grow. Okay. And you think about Mother Gaia, you think about the energy of the earth. She's coming back to life. Like, she is, I won't say coming back to life. She's delivering. Flowers are beginning to bloom on the earth. Okay. So there's birth. So with that being said, I'm going to go through my notes, and I hope you understand what I'm saying. The more and more you go through the wheel of the year, and every time these equinoxes, these different points of the year come together, to me, it makes more and more sense. It starts to make more and more sense as I go along every time it happens. So with that being said, I can't help that I thought about a mushroom, okay? Because, I mean, come on, look at a mushroom. Certain mushrooms, when you look at them, it just has like a phallic kind of look to it, okay? And that's just, what it looks like. And, I really do believe that the universe, the earth, is always trying to kind of reach out to us and communicate, but it takes a certain eye to see it. You have to come to the point where you're spiritually awakening. You have a spiritual awakening, you're going to see more of these things. You're going to see it, whereas other people are just going to walk by it. Okay. And whatever, it said that right now, we're really going through this awakening right now. And there's going to be some people that are going to be, it's going to happen for them, faster. You're going to see it. There's going to be those that are going to awaken, or start to notice things and become more awake and aware before others. And then there'll be others that are going to be kind of lagging behind, and maybe some will never see it, but I'm just noticing that I'm starting to hear a lot about people, everybody feels like there's something is changing, and something like there's something changing, or something huge is about to happen, right? Okay. So anyhow, so let me jump into this. I just want you to think about, and even when you look at this, she's looking ahead She's stepping out of the darkness into the light. The light is where you're going to see what was impressed in the darkness, what was done in the dark, behind closed doors, or you might want to think about that as behind closed doors, or think about pulling when you're dreaming, your eyelids are shut. Okay. Or in your mind, your thoughts are your thoughts. They're going on in your mind. Not everybody has to see it, right? It's secretive. Okay. Your dreams, you dream them at night. They're secretive. If, they're your dreams, whatever. But then you're going to notice that there are going to be things that are going to be delivered. There are going to be things that are going to show up in your life. So that is like it's there. You can see it. That's the masculine. And if you think about, I guess you might want to call it the male member, you can see it. Like it's there for you to see. Okay. Whereas with a woman, the female energy, things are hidden. Like women can have secrets. Men can have secrets, obviously. But come on now, like a woman, when it comes to, a woman could be pregnant, and she may be the only one to know it. Okay. Like she's going to feel it. She doesn't even have to see it, but, and I've never been pregnant, so I don't know what it feels like, anything. I've had a couple little scares, but it didn't happen, and I don't regret that. Okay. But, it is what it is. In other videos, I'll be talking more about that, but because it's all about my personal journey where I'm hoping to take you along with me, and we're going to be sharing our experiences and things, so on and so forth together, with each other. That's my idea. And hopefully the more subscribers and things I get, then I hope that I'll get to the point where there's going to be like members, and then that's going to be where I'm going to share more of the more details. Because these are obviously going to be people that are really interested in the personal story. Okay. So that's what you would get. So, but that's in time. Obviously I'm not there yet. I haven't even gone live on YouTube yet. And I can't wait till I get to the point where I know how to sync my TikTok and my YouTube together. And hey, syncing up, that's coming together. Think about syncing up, hooking up. When I have those two streams, when I go live on TikTok and then I'm going live on YouTube and I'm streaming at the same time, that's, I can't wait to get to that point, but I'm not there yet. I don't know how to do it. So, but I'll get there. But anyhow, like I was saying, when it comes to that feminine and masculine energy, you think about a woman, you think about our reproductive system, all that stuff is inside, it's internal. That's where the womb is, where you carry your baby. A woman carries her baby, her child. Okay. And it's protected in that, watery energy. Okay. And think about it, like the moon is tied to, it is the feminine energy, and, it's the water energy. The moon is, we know that when the moon is full, it has an effect on bodies of water, oceans, the tides, all that different stuff. It's feminine. It's the moon, and it has an effect on that. It has a pull on it. Okay. Things are going to rise to the top. Okay. It's going to rise. What needs to be dealt with is going to rise. It's going to rise. Okay. And, so that's that showing that feminine energy. And even though a full moon is said to kind of stand for a pregnant woman. Okay. And, but a woman can have secrets. She can have that secret. She could be pregnant, and, maybe she's going to tell her boyfriend or her husband or whatever, or, hey, I hate to say it, but maybe she's going to tell the other guy that ain't even her boyfriend or her husband. You don't know, like, and I'm not trying to put that negativity out, but it happens. It happens. And at the same time, a man could do the same thing, on his woman or whatever, but we're not trying to be negative. At least I'm not trying to be. Okay. But I'm just trying to explain that feminine and masculine energy, and, but the woman The feminine energy is that moon, and it's that water energy, secrets, emotions, all that stuff. The masculine, like I said, the feminine energy, the reproductive system, all that, it's internal. It's internal. You don't see it. Whereas, and it's dark. It's dark. There's darkness, okay? But that's where creation is taking place. That's where seeds are being planted. You get it? Like a child or a flower or whatever. The seed has got to be planted in that dark soil, okay? And then in time, it's going to pop through and you'll see it, okay? So that's what kind of made me think of that masculine energy of a mushroom, okay? If you look at it. Now, come on, and I'm telling you, take a look at a mushroom, and I mean altogether, there are some that if you were to look at the mushroom, you see, I'm sorry, a phallic symbol, a male member, okay? Not being crazy, but hey, if you're awake and aware, you'll see it. And that's why I wanted to talk a little bit about mushrooms, even though it's not really the season of mushrooms. I've explained in the beginning of the live the season when they appear more, when they pop up more. But if you look at a mushroom, it kind of, I mean, guys, look at it all together. There are certain mushrooms, really, if you look at them, okay? And you know, they pop up. They pop up. That's that energy of standing up. Okay. And as I read down through my notes, you're going to see this kind of up and down kind of energy. And if I'm thinking that it's going to be in these notes that I have here, but if you definitely watched the last live that I did, which was the spring equinox, you'll definitely hear it in the conversation. And that's just what I wanted to bring together for spring equinox. If you know, you know. I'm not the only one that sees it as this and knows it, you know, the awake and aware. It's just there's different people that feel more comfortable about sharing it. I know that there's people that I would know that'd be like, what in the world are you talking about? That's crazy. But come on, it's nature. It's nature. There's a feminine energy and a masculine energy. There's a sun and there's a moon. There is duality. Okay. There's light and there's dark. So with that being said, I'm going to jump into this. Okay. And, that's just why I wanted to bring up the idea of a mushroom. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to read a little bit from the last part of my notes, just so you'll get it from the last live. And then I'm going to roll into this, information and try to talk as fast as I can because, guys, I already know what I'm going to be talking about for the next video, and I can't wait to get that information together. I've got the sunset song, everything. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about, I'm hoping at this time, I want to talk about plants and stuff more. I want to talk about the energy of what, when the masculine and the feminine, you got these plants, okay? Seeds, plants. And I want to talk about the flowers, all that, because all that's coming to life right now. They're blooming. And I want to be talking about the spiritual side of it and kind of look at it as maybe some of the videos may be like spring flingy, some of them, okay? And think about a spring fling. Like if you had a spring fling, wouldn't it be great if that person, especially if you're a female, if this spring fling were to surprise you with flowers, could be roses, but it could be, you know, a different type of rose. Like if you, I remember there was one time I was, you know, seeing somebody and we got in an argument, and I don't even know where they picked these flowers from, but, you know, came back, you know, we had a little bit of an argument. And then when we made up, I'll never forget he had flowers in his hand that he had picked. And I'm like, I'm wondering where he picked those flowers. He didn't go to the store and buy them. These were like natural flowers. I'm like, oh, he didn't find somebody's yard. You know what I mean? But anyhow, what happened is what happened. So, but just think about the spring fling, you know, and flowers blooming. And I'm going to be talking about some flowers, in my next couple of videos, because that's just the energy that's going on right now. So it's coming back to life and it's beautiful. So everything's in bloom. So I want to talk just a little bit about the stuff from the last live that I did, that I had. So you'll know where I left off at. And I'm trying to find it. Okay. I'm going through my notes. Don't want to go too far back. Because actually, guys, I've done a lot. I've already did a lot of talking. Guys, I am a Gemini. That's the thing about me. talkative. Gemini is the sign of communication, and it's ruled by the planet Mercury. So, and that's all about communication. Whenever you have a Mercury retrograde, it's said to be a mix-up in communication. So, anyhow, I'm going to keep on reading. Let me find a place that makes sense to start from, not go back too far. Basically, I'm going to describe it as a great marriage. That's the way I'm going to describe it, okay? And just this energy of the feminine and the masculine coming together and doing what it does. And with that coming together in harmony, that's when you have the birth of life. And when we think about the birth of life right now, what is that birth of life? It's just the Mother Gaia or Earth giving birth to the flowers. You're going to start to see this. There was the seed, but now everything's growing. She's delivering flowers, the green leaves, all that kind of stuff. And that's where I'm looking for in my notes to start out at. That was the last part that I had. Okay, I think it's going to start right here. Okay, let me find it. Almost there. Okay, so I just want you to think about the beauty and the depth of all this that was going on that day. Because, again, I'm going to be talking a little bit, talking about the time and how, when it happened and everything. But just know that I'm talking about it because now we're in it. It's been delivered. We are moving into this energy of action and things coming to life. And, we're moving forward. Okay, and just look at the image that you're looking at right now, and that stands in for me. It's not me, but it stands in for me. She's moving out of that darkness, which is the feminine energy. And again, with every day as we are getting closer to the summer solstice, the days, I'm going to say it here, listen to me, the days are getting masculine energy. The days are getting longer and longer. Okay. The universe has a way in communicating with us. You just have to be awake and aware enough to know it. And again, I couldn't say it to everybody because they'd be like, that's weird, but come on now. Something had these thoughts to get it going the way it is. I didn't do it. So, I'm just sharing the story. So, and you heard it here. You'll hear it in other places if you listen enough in the spiritual and law of attraction communities and stuff, especially when you get into that kind of witchy kind of mood and, I don't know, kind of thinking more magical and manifestation and all that. So, now, let me find a good starting point here. So I just want you to think about that depth and that energy, these two energies coming together, okay, in harmony, perfect harmony, day and night, right, a split between the two, okay. And even if you look at what you're looking at right now, if you were to look at the Lover's Tarot card, which corresponds with Gemini, is 2, it basically stands for, if you want to look at it in a magical sense, I'll never forget the first time it was explained to me, and it made sense to me. Basically, there was a creator, and I forgot his name. I forgot the name, and I regret that. I lost touch with this creator. I got a new phone. Anyhow, but when it was first explained to me, and it was best explained to me, is basically magic is basically when the feminine and the masculine energies come together, and it's kind of like mind sex. Okay. Basically, the masculine part of your mind, which is the conscious part, has penetrated the subconscious, and that's the feminine part. And that is when you're going to see the birth of your manifestation. Okay. The feminine or the masculine has penetrated which is the masculine part of the mind is the conscious mind. Okay. But when it penetrates the subconscious, that's when the manifestation is going to be delivered. You're going to see it. It's going to come out of the shadow, and it's going to be in the light where you're going to see it. Okay. It's going to be in the 3D. You're going to be living that life. But first, there's got to be that coming together, that joining of the two different parts of your mind. That's what magic is. And it's basically sex magic. It's the two coming together. And I'll never forget the first time I really worked with this energy. Bob Proctor, the late Bob Proctor, I had watched some videos, and he explained some things. He didn't explain it in the same way as this other creator, but he talked about it as in that three energy. Um, you know, the three is the number of creation. And you know, taking something and having it become three-dimensional, having something come to life in the three-dimensional. It has to start somewhere in like your thoughts. And then the more it's impressed on your subconscious, that's when you're going to see it appear in the three-dimensional where you're seeing it. It is three-dimensional and you can see it. Okay, it's taken form. Okay. So with that being said, I hope everybody's getting what I'm saying. And if you don't, the more I read it, you will. And the more you work with these energies, you'll see it. The spring, work with the wheel of the year, the phases of the moon. It's going to make more and more sense. Okay. So I just want you to think about the depth of those energies coming together in harmony. Okay. This is just the core of, the spiritual mechanics of the equinox. Okay. It's a sacred dialogue between the two energies. It's shadow coming to light. Okay. The masculine. Okay. I'm going to be talking about the actual time that it happened. The masculine. Okay. The call, the sun's rise. Okay. And think about the sun rising. This is a masculine energy. The sun rising. You might want to think about, what is it, that saying? Okay, like kind of like he felt his nature rise. And when you think about, okay, you think about a nature rising, think about what that means. His nature rose. Okay. And his nature rose. And I even think about that rose. Because think about, a woman, a beautiful rose. And when, this man is thinking about this beautiful woman, think about the rose frequency and think about a rose. Think about the beauty of a rose and think about a woman. Okay. So what happens? She makes him rise. His nature rises. And then think about it in the natural, like the sense when it comes to the universe, that would be the sun. Okay. The sun energy. But then if you think about it in a different kind of energy, the nature rose. Okay. And then you even think about that. Think about body temperature. You could think about body temperature, body heat, temperature rising. Okay. Nature rising. Okay. And then where do you get that heat from? The sun, which is masculine. Okay. The feminine is the cool energy. Okay, I could say the wet energy because of the fact moisture, because it's, you think about the moon, the tides and all that. You get what I'm saying. So I'm going to keep reading. The masculine. Okay, the call, the sun's rise. At 10:46 a.m., the sun reached that 0 point and started its climb into the northern hemisphere. So you think about going, a rise from south, which is below, to the north. So that is like upward. Okay. I know you guys are getting what I'm saying, right? Just use your imagination. You can't say, I couldn't say to everybody, but I kind of feel like if you're watching this, you're into this kind of thing. And, it might surprise you a little bit if you haven't come to find out. But you'll come to find out about it. Okay. It's coming. So it's coming. So, okay. The masculine, the call, the sun's rise. At 10:46 a.m., the sun reached that 0 point and started its climb into the northern hemisphere. Okay. This is the active force. Okay. Force. And you think about men, it's their strength. They're strong. Okay. The sun. Okay. The sun, the king of the jungle. Strength. Okay. At 10:46 a.m., okay, and I even think about AM as in I am. Am, like I am going to get this done. I can do it. I am going to do it. And you think about that AM. I am, like it's done. It's done. I got it done. I am going to do this. I've got this. This is the male energy, okay, at work, okay? So at 10:46 a.m., I am going to do it. And think about it, the AM, the sun rises. This is when the alarm clock goes off. You get up. And even a lot, this even comes to me, guys. They say that a lot of people that really get, people that really get a lot of things done, like and not to say that everybody, it's got to be this way. Have you ever heard that saying that a lot of people that are really productive people, I think it's like they get up at like 5 o'clock or maybe a little bit before 5 o'clock. I've heard Mark Wahlberg has said this, right about 5 o'clock. And it's funny because now, a little bit ago, my phone was at 69%. It's now at 55%. And I just talked about 5 o'clock in the morning, okay? And 5 o'clock is a half, because you think about it, 555 is a number of change. That's what that number 555 is all about, the angel number, okay? But when you think about the number 5, it's a halfway point. And it's halfway from 10. And then you have a whole, okay? So I'm talking about these halves, these energies, the sun and the moon, feminine, masculine, all this coming together. But it also came to me that it said that a lot of people, like people that are really, really productive, they're up by 5, around about 5, something like that, before 5, or at about 5, or just about 5. Like, and then you think about when the sun rises, okay? That's that masculine energy. And again, think about it, the AM, the morning, the AM, and think about it, I am. That is the sun. And that is, I got to look into it more, but they say that when you speak and you say I am, that's kind of putting like a really a divine energy. That's putting a divine energy on it. Like that's calling in that divine energy. I am. Anything you put after it, you have to look into it. Okay. So, but I am, AM, and the sun is that masculine energy. Okay. And that's when, you're said to be more productive. You get up, you go to work, sunset songs. You get up, you work, you do the things that need to get done. You're more productive during the day. And then at night, that's when you come, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. You come home and you calm down. I'll put it that way, okay? Keeping things clean. You calm down, and that's when things are more relaxed and you have that sunset. And I call my channel Sunset Songs. I look at it as that feminine and masculine energy. The sun and the moon is a sunset, so they meet up and they kiss each other, right? And they kiss each other good night, and there we are, okay? So keep it on with this. And again, guys, it was at 10:46 a.m. is when, the spring equinox, that was the peak, okay? Okay. So at 10:46 a.m., the sun reached that 0 point and started its climb into the northern hemisphere. This is the active force. It's the hey, it's time to move energy. It's the spark, the fire, and the initial push. Push. You might want to think about a thrust. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm just trying to make sense. The more you work this stuff and you work with the phases of the moon and all this different stuff, the more as time goes by, it'll become clearer and clearer to you. Okay. So here we go. This is the active force. It's the hey, it's time to move energy. It's the spark, the fire, and the initial push from south to north. So this is a down to up motion. We're standing up here. Okay. Now, in the initial push from south to north, it is the sunrise of the entire year. Okay. All right. The feminine. This is the response. Okay. We got to have a response here. Now, if somebody called and somebody asked, somebody called and somebody asked, and there we go, then we got to have some type of a response. So let's see what she says. Okay. The feminine, the response, nature receiving. This is the magnetic force. So this is pulling in, receiving. Okay. This is the magnetic force, nature, the earth, the feminine, doesn't just sit there. She feels the sun crossing that celestial line and begins to receive the warmth. So that's the sun. Isn't this romantic? Isn't this cute? Now, come on now. Just hear me out, right? Like it's beautiful. It's got a beauty to it. If you're hearing the lullaby that I'm telling you, the lullaby or the midnight, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Okay. So guys, I'm sorry. The technology that I have is going nuts. Okay. I think somebody maybe tried to send me a message or something. I don't know. But anyhow, so it's the feeling of nature rising up to meet the light. The seeds in the dark soil feel the vibration of the 10:46 a.m. shift and begin to open. Okay. Okay. The womb action. Okay. When you think about womb, you might want to think about woman. Okay. Woman. The womb action. The feminine energy takes the call of the masculine and turns it into life. That would be the leaves, the flowers, growth. Okay. And think about it. I was talking about it on St. Patrick's Day when I went live. I talked about on St. Patrick's Day, the chakras. Okay. And, at that point, I talked about the green energy because obviously St. Patrick's Day, you wear green and all that, but I described it. I took and put a spin on it so you would understand it. Think about the energy of green. When you were wearing that green on St. Patrick's Day, you were in vibration. You were in the frequency of the heart chakra because the heart chakra is green. Okay. And the heart chakra is all about, it's just like a loving energy. It's the earth energy. It's, and it's green in color. So the heart chakra is green. So you think about at that point, everything's coming back to life. And think about a heart. The heart is, it's life force. It's a heartbeat. Think about it. The heart chakra, the heartbeat, things coming to life, pulsating. And again, just the green earth, Mother Earth, life. Okay. So, you've got the leaves, you've got the flowers, you've got growth. Okay. And think about a pregnant woman. Okay. Even if you wanted to look at it in that sense, growing. Okay. So, this is a Shadow Girl Sherry exclusive, I'll say. So at 10:46, on Friday, the masculine sun sent out the call as it crossed into our hemisphere. But the real magic is how the feminine earth received it. Okay. Okay. Nature doesn't just watch the sun rise. She feels it in her roots and rises up to meet it. It's a 24/7 conversation. The feminine receives the heat and turns it into the green we see everywhere. And think about it. In order for, I think there's something about when it comes to plants and things like that, chlorophyll. Okay. I think that might be what makes the green. I think it's chlorophyll, but there, obviously when it comes to flowers and, you might even want to think about children. Like, at a certain point, at a certain age, like everybody has to get some kind of sunlight. Like if you didn't want to go out in the sun, then I guess, what is it? Vitamin D, you take it as a supplement, but I think it's vitamin D, but it helps with the bones. and that this, when it comes to bones, your teeth, all that different stuff, this is coming to me as well. These things are a part of the root chakra, and that's the bottom. Okay, that's the bottom, the red part. The root chakra is red in color, but it also the root chakra also deals with anything with the body that deals with roots, like your teeth. There's roots, okay? There's roots, your gums, okay? And what color are they? They're pink, red, whatever. Okay, your blood, okay? Roots. And you even think about your family. That's your roots, your root chakra, all this different stuff. There's blood there. Okay, your hair, there's roots, okay? And you think about that with flowers, trees, roots, the root chakra, roots. Okay, and but with children, they have to, when we were children, you had recess, and children have to receive sunlight every day in order to grow. And what does that make you think about? That makes you think of a plant, like flowers. It's a dance, and I think it's so beautiful when you think about nature, and then you think about the nature, like our human nature, okay? Like it's in us, like it's outside and it's in nature, it's all around us, but it's in us as well, okay? So anyhow, so let me keep talking here. But, okay, so nature doesn't just watch the sunrise. She feels it in her roots and rises to meet it. It's a 24/7 conversation. The feminine receives the heat and turns it into the green we see everywhere. And that's the plants, the flowers, green, okay? And growth, okay? So, okay, the 24/7 rhythm of the rise, okay? It's that giving and receiving energy, all right? And that is going to be the secret to a successful year. You've got that feminine and masculine coming together, that dance, okay? They're always working together, okay? So, you have the masculine and the feminine coming together, and that goes on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's always going on. So that's what I wanted to tell you. That's where I left off, basically, with the last live. It's that idea of the 50-50, and the feminine and the masculine, kind of like the split in the center, okay? In the center, okay? All right. So, let's see. Let me move on down here. Talking about nature and things that come naturally, okay? And this primal kind of energy, powerful primal kind of energy. It's the alchemy, really, of creation. When the masculine sun and feminine earth hit that 10:46 a.m. 0 point, it isn't just a quiet meeting, it's a fertile union. And I'm just, you can think of it as a description, like the moment the earth conceives the new year, okay? The great marriage, the union, okay? The rise, the masculine sun rises, the great marriage, the union, the rise. The masculine sun rises to the occasion, crossing the equator to penetrate the northern hemisphere with heat and light. The reception, the feminine earth, the shadow, doesn't just sit there. She opens up. She receives that solar fire into her dark, cool soil. The birth. This union is what births the manifestation. It's the literal labor of the equinox. Now, this is where I'm going to start talking about mushrooms, okay? And again, I am aware that mushrooms, you're going to see like a little bit of, I looked up a little information before I decided to go live, like right a little bit before. You're going to see more mushrooms during that fall time at fall. But I couldn't help that I wanted to use the idea of a mushroom, okay? Because it looks phallic-like, okay? And I'm just going to explain it from there. But I did look up a little information. Mushrooms, you can see a little bit. You could see like some mushrooms now. But it's more so you're more likely to see more mushrooms getting closer to fall when things are more moist and damp. They like moisture, they like dampness. And think about it. Moisture and damp, wet kind of energy, okay? And it looks phallic, okay? Just being real, okay? Not being funny or anything, but if you look, I mean, I'm telling you, you look at it, some mushrooms have a little like hole. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just being real. So anyhow, just look at it and you'll see the awaken aware. The awaken aware. I know you see it. So anyhow, so I'm going to talk about the mushrooms here. Okay, so the fungal magic, the mushrooms. Okay, the hidden network. Mushrooms are the perfect kind of shadowy symbol. They live in the dark, damp, feminine womb of the earth. Okay, the quickening. When the sun hits that 10:46 a.m., okay, the peak, the mycelium, the underground network, and this is basically what mushrooms are in. That's their underground like network, the mycelium. Okay, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. I'll spell it MYCELIUM. The underground network feels the vibration. Feels the vibration. That's funny because I was talking about Mark Wahlberg earlier, and Mark Wahlberg, he was in a group, if you know, you know, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, and they had a song called, that's so funny. I didn't even think about that when I was coming up with these notes. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch had a song, I think it was called Feel the Vibration, and I was just talking about him a little bit earlier because it has been noted that Mark Wahlberg has said that I think he gets up at maybe 5 o'clock or maybe a little bit before 5. I think that's the time that he meditates or he prays or something like that. That's how he kind of begins his day. And, Mark Wahlberg is he's very productive. Movies, in shape, everything. Very attractive. Very attractive. Okay. So anyhow. Okay. So the quickening, when the sun hits that 10:46, and guys, at 10:46, that's when the everything went down. We had the spring equinox. Okay. That was the peak. The quickening, when the sun hits that 10:46 a.m. peak. I'm sorry. Good Lord. Peak. Oh my gosh. Peak. Okay. The mycelium, the underground network, feels the vibration. Here we go. It's the sexual harmony. Okay. It's that kind of energy. Just think about it that way. Really, like the universe. Okay. And all these energies, they're in us. Like, really think about it. Okay. Feels the vibration. The heat from above so above, so below, the heat from above triggers the life below to push through. Think about pushing. Okay. Now a man then pushed. Now the next thing you know, a woman's pushing in labor and delivery. Okay. I just want you to think about your manifestations coming to life, the birth of your manifestations. Okay. And the fact that the universe is listening. Okay. It's always listening. Okay. Ready to take in and receive what you want to, what you're saying and what you're doing. Okay. So the manifestation, a mushroom popping up overnight is the ultimate instant manifestation. It's the earth saying yes to the sun's call. And I'll read that again. The manifestation, a mushroom popping up overnight is the ultimate instant manifestation. It's the earth saying yes to the sun's call. Okay. The 24/7 creative pulse. And I just want you to think about, birthing and all that. Okay. It doesn't stop. This energy between the masculine and the feminine, the sun and the moon, it's always in motion. Okay. It's always in motion. Okay. The earth is constantly receiving the sun's energy and turning it into something tangible, something you can touch. Okay. The 3D. Okay. And we know that 3 is the number of creation. The first time I ever heard about that, the three being the number of creation, was in the book The Secret. Okay, and I've been talking about secrets and all that, but the book The Secret, I think that that's a pretty good starting place when you want to start thinking about the law of attraction. I know that the author's name, her first name is Rhonda. I just don't know how to pronounce her last name. It's like Bynes or something like that. But you got the name. It's a little series, The Secret, and it's all about the law of attraction and all that. So, The Secret, Rhonda Bynes, I think her name is, but it's definitely Rhonda. Okay, so but the Secret, that's in that book. I found about, the power of creation. I found out, the power of the number 3. It is the number of creation. And think about it, just creation. 3 is all down the line. You hear it in a lot of different things, like when it comes to The Wizard of Oz. We know that's a magical movie. What was it? There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. And I think she clicked her heels together 3 times. I think that's what she said. But even that, the color of her shoes were red, like the root chakra. The root chakra, that's where it all begins. So these are the things that I'm just bringing to you. But just think about that number of 3. And even you think about it in a religious sense, you think about the sun, because you can think about it in nature as in the sun. But I look at it as all, there was energy that created all that. That's the way I look at it. But you can think about the sun as in that energy of the sun, that powerful energy that gives everything life. But you could also look at it in a religious sense, as the Father, the Son, the Blessed Holy Spirit. And I can't help that I think of the Father, the Son, the Blessed Holy Spirit, and I think about when you say amen, and I think about this is the makeup of man. That's what I think about. But I'm that's just what I think. That's what I hear. But anyhow, so let me continue with this, guys. Okay. So this is my message. Just giving you this idea of mushrooms. They've been growing. Mushrooms grow in the dark, the shadow. Okay, I call myself Shadow Girl Sherry, so I know about shadows. But it's hidden. It's hidden. So mushrooms, they grow in the dark, the shadow. But now that the equinox has hit, like a lot of things are going to be showing up. It's a time for that union. It's a time for that union to birth things into the light. Okay, and just think about your manifestations and what you're manifesting. What are you thinking about? That subconscious mind is drinking it in. Okay, it's taking it in, and it's delivering what you feed it, what you give to it, what you press on it. Okay, so at 10:46, I'm just thinking about that time on Friday. It wasn't just a clock hitting a number. It was a union. The masculine sun rose to the occasion, and the feminine earth received that fire. Okay? Feel that harmony. It's the same energy that makes a mushroom burst through the soil overnight. It's the birth of a manifestation. It's that round and round the clock. The 24/7. Okay? It's a creative womb. Okay? What are you birthing? What are you birthing? What are you manifesting right now? Okay? Because the earth is ready to receive your light and turn it into gold. Okay? So there's this fertile union kind of energy. Okay? The darkness, maybe a little bit of a force-like kind of energy. Because, all that is coming back to life. That earth energy is coming back to life. Okay? Birth, all that's coming to life. So let's see. Let me work down through my notes, and I'm just trying to read the stuff that I really want to read, because this live is really working to at some point I'm going to have to close down, obviously, but I'm trying to get as much of this out as I can. Obviously, It's just the beginning of spring, so I could always come back and talk, close some of this down. But I'm trying to get as much of this out as I can tonight, because again, this is the start of the spring fling, and it kind of makes you think about things and whatever. But I want to get to the point where I'm also talking about those plants. Okay, I want to talk about the spring fling, and I want to talk about the plants and flowers and the growth, and just make you think about a spring fling, and think about it in the sense of, you think about a spring fling. Maybe that's what you're trying to manifest. Maybe you're trying to manifest new love into your life. Maybe that's what you're trying to manifest. And think about in your mind. Think about, if that is what you're trying to manifest. Think about maybe this person bringing you flowers, and the highest frequency flower that there is a rose. Okay, highest frequency. And I'll go ahead and say that there are essences that you can actually go and buy, different flower essences, and you can actually put them in like water and drink them. Okay, so it's just a thought. I'm just giving you the idea because I'm thinking about the essences, and if you really want to be on that frequency, roses are the highest frequency flower that there is. Okay, so these are just ideas. Okay, and always I'm not giving away like medical advice. I'm not a doctor, but I'm just giving you the information that these things are out there. Okay, just like there are gold elixirs. There are elixirs where you can actually put it goes under your tongue. Okay, so just saying. But I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling you to go and get it or whatever. Just but look up, if you're interested in it, look up the information. It's out there. So let me see where I'm gonna start back in again. Okay, now trying to find out, pick up different things. But again, guys, I want to get as much of this information out to you guys, because again, I want to start talking about flowers. I want to start talking about plants more, and the flowers and growth and different flowers, because I love flowers. I love flowers. Okay. So I'm thinking about, I can't help that I was thinking a little bit like a hole. Like, is there like a hole or something that something is going in, or anyhow? So I looked up the information, and there isn't like a physical hole in the ground at the equator. Okay. I don't know everything. But there is right now at that point, there was an energetic opening. Okay, that happened at 10:46 a.m. on Friday. Okay, the celestial doorway, the equator. Now, hear me out. The celestial doorway. The equator is an invisible belt around the Earth's waist. Now, think about this. I think about belts and waists, and the equator is an invisible belt around the Earth's waist. I'm thinking about like pants dropping because a belt was removed. Guys, I'm just saying, just hear me out, and just listen to the story, or the lullaby, or the love story, or whatever you want to call it, the spring fling. Okay, and you might want to think about, what are you trying to fling with? What are you trying to have? Okay, so the celestial doorway, the equator is an invisible belt around the Earth's waist. Most of the year, the sun is leaning either toward the north or the south. But at the exact moment of the equinox, the sun stands perfectly vertical over that line. The whole concept, okay? We'll describe it a little bit. Is an alignment. It is an alignment of the heavens. Just look at it this way. It's an alignment of the heavens. It's like a cosmic key fitting into a lock. Again, it's an alignment of the heavens. Just think about it. It's like in the song at one point, in this song 24/7, he comes out and he says, "You're taking me to heaven." At one point, "You're taking me to heaven 24/7. You're mine." Okay, and you know how we feel when you feel like you're falling in love. It wouldn't even have to be about the physical. But That's always wonderful. But, so it's great to feel that warmth. It could be, when you hold hands and you share that and you feel the warmth of, another person that you feel something towards, right? So just hear the story or the lullaby or the love song or whatever. And again, the sunset song that I picked for this particular episode for the spring equinox is the song 24/7 by Dino. Okay, because it's a beautiful song to me anyway. All right, so the whole concept. Think about the alignment. It's like an alignment of the heavens. Okay. Um, and even if you think about that, if you think about the solar plexus, it it part of that aligns. There is a heart kind of energy to that, but mostly to the solar plexus. The solar plexus is yellow, so this would align with a Leo energy. Okay, the solar plexus is yellow in color, the solar plexus, and it's kind of like a heavenly kind of idea because it's the joining. It's like in the center of your body, like you're kind of around your navel, your belly button, and think about that. That's where creation is carried. Like a woman carries, a baby. It's around about that point, but just think about it. It's the joining right at that point. That's where the joining comes together. It's the joining of your um the bottom part of your body to the top part of your body. You get what I'm saying? And you think about it, the joining heaven and earth, like where it meets. Okay? And think about it, feminine and masculine, the sun and the moon, a meeting up and down, a meeting in the middle. Okay? And it is yellow in color. The solar plexus is yellow, but you think about the heavens and the earth like meeting. This is the plane where the two, it's like a meeting, okay, right in the center. Okay, so it's like a cosmic key fitting into a lock. For that one moment, the energy isn't slanted. It's a direct, straight down pillar of light hitting the center of the world. Okay? Okay, and I just want you to think about the earth opening up, the earth receiving that light like a union. Scientifically, the equator during the equinox, scientifically, the equator during the equinox, the sun is at its, it looks like the word zenith, and I'll spell it out. Sun is at its zenith. These are words that I found as I'm, looking up my information, for my notes. I'm spell it out. Zenith, directly overhead. Okay? No shadows. At high noon on the equator today, which I was talking about for the spring equinox, which was Friday. No shadows. At high noon on the equator, that day, if you stood a stick straight up, it would cast no shadow. The spiritual hole. Okay? When there is no shadow, it's like the earth has opened its eyes completely to the sun. There is no filter. Now, guys, don't look at the sun. Never look directly at the sun with just your natural, like, naked eye. Just don't do that. It's blinding, okay? And that makes me think about how they say, that we're not going to, but they say, I've seen the light, or they say that maybe if you saw God, like it would be so much for you to see. Like you can't see that, I don't know anything about it. Yeah, I'm not dead, but you think I've seen the light and it's so brilliant. Like you think about the sun, it's so bright that you can't look directly at it because it would blind you. So think about it. You can't look directly at it. So then you think about a godly energy. Like we don't see it. You can't look at the sun, and then you can't look at the sun with a naked eye because you go blind. But then think about it. They say that, kind of think about it. You're not going to see God or whatever until you die. And you kind of think about darkness, and then you see the light. So it's like a shadowy kind of energy to it. So anyhow, I've seen the light, but at the same time, you get what I'm saying, all right? You get what I'm saying. And again, I work with these energies of nature, but like I truly believe that you could call it source energy, whatever, but I definitely call it God. I call it source. I think about creation, the creator, and I definitely believe. Okay, so I just believe in all God's universe. I believe in his universe and the things that he made. Okay, so there we go. And, like a goddess energy as well. I don't know. I'm Shadow Girl Sherry, and it's two. So it's a dance between the two. That's the way I look at it. Okay, it's sunset songs. Okay, so here we go. Earth has opened its eye completely to the sun. There is no filter. The masculine light goes straight into the feminine core. Okay. This alignment is the Earth's way of plugging in to the solar source. Okay. This alignment is the Earth's way of plugging in to the solar source. The manifestation, this direct feed of light, is what triggers that mushroom-like birthing. Now, I'm not saying there's mushrooms that are out, but I've already explained what I meant by mushrooms. And I've already explained what it means. But the energy of a mushroom is kind of like, it makes me think of like the death tarot card, because everybody thinks that the death tarot card is all about just physical death. It wouldn't have to mean that. It's the idea that something has to die or something has to end in order for the birth of something else. Something has to die or to end. We'll put it that way. Has got to end before something new can begin. That's the idea of it. And it just makes me think of the death tarot card, but it's all about transformation. And I do believe that the death tarot card is actually the 13th card in the deck. And the number 13 it's a feminine energy. That's why we have Friday the 13th. And there are those that consider themselves awake and aware. And it's so said that originally started out as a very feminine day for manifestation, but it got twisted into something else. And I don't know, Hollywood or whatever ran away with it. And then that's how we got like scary kind of things, right? When you could use it really for the positive. It's a feminine like energy. 13 is a feminine number. And I'll quickly say this, that the death tarot card, I believe in maybe there's some deck where there is the death tarot card is actually a skeleton and the skeleton is pregnant. So it's the energy of death, but there's life in death. So that is the whole idea about a mushroom. Mushrooms grow from death. They come from decay. Okay. So I'm just sharing this with you, but obviously there's something that you can't see. It's feminine. You can't see it. It's in the soil. It's in the earth or whatever, but it rises and there you see it. Okay. And it's phallic like. So anyhow, the manifestation, the direct feed of light is what triggers mushrooms like birthing. Okay. Because the light is hitting the center, the equator, so perfectly the vibration travels through the whole planet 24/7. Okay. Again, the song that I picked is a sunset song, is a song called 24/7. And hopefully I'm going to get to the lyrics. Okay. A direct alignment. Okay, at 10:46 a.m., the sun wasn't just out, it was perfectly centered. It's like a cosmic doorway opened over the equator, and the light went straight to the heart of the earth. No shadows, no filter. Just a direct union. Okay, and this kind of energy, there's always a dance going on 24/7, okay, night and day. Okay, when the sun hits that 0 point, the earth receives the fire and starts birthing the new year. We are plugged into the source. We were plugged, directly into that source during the spring equinox, that day and that night, meeting up right in the center, a balance, perfect balance, 24/7, round and round the clock. They're always working together. It's a dance. Okay. And my channel is called Sunset Songs. So we're dancing. Okay. But there's a dance between the sun and the moon, the dark and the light, the shadow and the light. It's a dance, a duet. Okay. So So just think about just a bit of a celestial doorway, no shadow, okay? Um, Diving deep into things, a direct feed of light. Um, just think about these things. This is the energy that came, the frequency that came with the spring equinox. All right. And all this took place. The peak, again, was Friday, this Friday that we just had, March the 20th, 2026 at 10:46 a.m. But I want to quickly say that you can watch this video at any, during any, spring equinox, or you can even kind of honor it, it when you have the summer equinox or whatever, because the idea is a meeting in the middle. This feminine and the masculine are in perfect harmony. It's union, balance. They've come together in a dance, a slow dance, a duet, whatever you want to call it, because my channel is called Sunset Songs, okay? And for this particular video live, when I went live, I picked a song, 24/7 by Dino. I hope that you will go and take a listen to it. To me, it's just a beautiful song. It's an old song. It was made in like 89 or 90, something like that. I'm going to be reading those notes. It's a beautiful song. It's dated. The video is definitely dated, but this just puts me in mind of this energy of union and love and harmony, okay? So, and just the earth and everything that's within us as well. All these elements and things are in. I hope it's all weaving you. It's coming together for you. It's making sense the way I've weaved all this story and this lullaby, I'll say, together. Okay. It's a love story. So, the peak, again, was Friday, March the 20th, 2026. I want to say what's up to everybody. I want to thank everyone who has joined, and I hope you are enjoying my live, this live that I've come up with. I've seen some names pop up. I do apologize that I didn't get to mention everybody, but I just have a lot of information that I'm covering right now. I see I can't pronounce your name. Drone EB Mike. I know I've said it wrong, but again, I want to thank you so much for joining this live tonight. This is Shadow Girl Sherry, and definitely I'm talking about a shadow and a light, like this kind of energy. The light, the feminine, and the masculine energies coming together in harmony. This is Shadow Girl Sherry, and I want to thank you guys so much for joining me and hanging out with me for this spring fling episode. Okay, and I hope everybody, you're getting the lullaby, the story that I'm trying to tell here, okay? So, in a clean and happy, beautiful way, okay? So the global instant, a worldwide event happened at the same moment across all time zones on Friday, this past Friday, March the 20th, 2026 at 10:46 a.m. The global instant, a worldwide event. This is what happened at the same moment across all time zones. The celestial crossing, the sun, masculine, moving from south to north across the equator. Okay. The union, across the equator. The 12-12 balance. Okay. And there's 24 hours in a day. 12 and 12. Okay. The 12-12 balance. Approximately 12 hours of light and 12 hours of shadow globally. 12 hours of light and 12 hours of darkness. This is harmony. A feminine and a masculine, the sun and the moon meeting together, a balance. Okay. So the 12-12 balance, approximately 12 hours of light and 12 hours of shadow globally. And this is a Shadow Girl exclusive. This is the way I wanted to bring it, to deliver it to you guys. Okay. The union, that sexual harmony. Okay. Just hear me out, wake and aware. Okay. Where the masculine sun rises to the occasion and the feminine earth receives that energy to birth manifestation. And think about this, the manifestation, your manifestations. What are you trying to see delivered? What do you want the universe to deliver to you? And I want you to think about it as it's already done and just say thank you. Okay. Because you deserve it. Okay. You deserve it. All right. So the no shadow alignment, the sun positioned directly above the sun positioned directly above the equator, creating a direct feed of light with no filters. Okay? 24/7, the round and round the clock, dedication, the sun and the moon. All right? Keeping this groove going, guys. This is just the whole idea of what happened the other day during the spring equinox, okay? Now, the sun's rise to the rose itself. I'm going to make a little bit of a connection because I was talking about that feminine energy and then the masculine, the sun, and then think about the sun rising, the sun rose. Now that makes me think the sun rose, okay? But then I'm thinking about that flower, the rose, which roses aren't, here yet. I think it's, early or late spring, early summer is when you're going to see roses. But I can't help that I was thinking about the sun rising. So then you think about the sun rose, okay? And then it made me think about the flower, the rose, which a rose is the highest, it's the flower that has the highest frequency, okay? Just sharing these notes. So I'm thinking about the sun and just the rose. And think about it. The sun is what makes flowers, it makes flowers bloom and rise, okay? Even the mushrooms, okay? The sun, okay? The sun rose, so the roses can rise, okay? The sun rose. Think about it, guys. The sun rose, so the roses can rise, okay? And they haven't arrived yet, but it's coming, okay? It's coming, okay? Just think about these crazy words that are coming together here. Okay, so I'm just putting a little bit of a bridge between roses and mushrooms, okay? A manifestation message that I just wanted to deliver to you guys. The sun rose, roses rise connection. The visual, at 10:46 a.m., the sun rose over the equator. Now, or at that point, the earth responded by letting the roses rise. You know the roses you can't see them yet, but they're rising, okay? Just like all the flowers, okay? The seeds are there and they're rising. They're coming to the surface, just like your manifestations are, okay? And I just want you to say thank you because you deserve it. And the universe wants to deliver, okay? Keep your thoughts positive, okay? Hang around positive people. Listen to positive songs. I would suggest this song that I've picked as the sunset song. That is a song by an artist. He went by the name Dino. His real name is Dean Esposito. And the song is 24/7. It's a beautiful love song, okay? All right. So now the earth, okay, responded by letting the roses or the flowers rise. Okay? The sun rose, allowing the roses to rise. They're coming, guys. Okay? They're coming. So the heart energy. Roses are the ultimate symbol of the heart and the feminine. While the mushrooms, because I'm just talking about mushrooms because they have a phallic kind of look to them. Just look at them. They have a phallic look to them. And if you look at them, a mushroom, I won't even go there. I won't go there, but you know what, I will, right? I say that, this is kind of like 18 and up, but just looking at them, the sun or the mushrooms, sorry, I just got to say it, just to awaken aware, look at them, the suns or the mushrooms they have a head. Okay. And the thing about it is they're called a cap. Like the mushroom has a head, okay? And think about it, the head, okay? And what do men they're often said that they're always thinking what the wrong one, okay? Come on now, I'm just blending all this together. This is the way it's coming to me. But if you look at a mushroom, it looks phallic. It's also said that the head is also called the cap of the mushroom. And it's associated with different, there's different mushrooms. There's like the witch's hat. Okay, different mushrooms. They are associated with little, what are they called? Gnomes or something? I think this pronounced gnomes. And, they have they wear hats or like a cap. Okay, so just think about this stuff, okay? And men thinking we're having two heads, but they're always thinking with the wrong one. Okay, it's just saying, okay, just saying. All right. The heart energy. Roses are the ultimate symbol of the heart and the feminine, while the mushrooms represent the deep subconscious womb of the earth. The roses represent the beauty and the bloom that the world actually sees. Okay. The sun rose, okay, so that your manifestations can rise like a rose. Okay. All right. Now, the mushroom and rose partnership, the manifestation. The above, the mushroom and rose the mushroom and rose partnership, the manifestation. The above and below, mushrooms, they are the quickening of the instant overnight birth from the shadow. Roses, they are unfolding the steady, beautiful growth into the light. My message, you need both. You need the quick pop. My message, hear me out. You need both. You need the shadow and this light. Okay? You need both. You need the quick pop of the mushroom, the idea. These are your thoughts, the idea, and the steady bloom of the rose, the work. And that's the feminine and the masculine. Okay? You get up in the morning. When you work a job, you get up, you work. That's the masculine. And the sun is up, lighting the path for you, lighting the way for you. Okay? Work. AM. Getting up, movement, work. Okay? Male energy. Okay? But then that feminine energy is the calmer. Okay? It's the sunset. Okay? Going home, the sunset, and now they meet up. Okay? And then when the two come together in harmony, that's when your manifestation is going to happen. Like you think about a birth of a baby or the birth of your manifestation, the delivery. And you saying thank you because the universe wants to deliver it to you. Okay? It's just waiting for you to get in alignment with it. Okay? So here we go. Planting the seeds, and I just said it. You need both. You need the quick pop of the mushroom, the idea, and the steady bloom of the rose, the work. Okay? Putting this all together and making it make sense. Okay? And the universe is making things as well. Okay? And we love the things that the universe makes. Okay? Now here we go. 3, planting the seeds, the 24/7 commitment, the call to action. Now on Friday, which was the spring equinox, that was the perfect time to plant those seeds because the light and shadow, 50-50, the soil of your life was at its most fertile. Okay, I just want you to think about this. Okay. What were you thinking on that day? Okay. You wanted to keep it positive. Anytime these equinoxes, these solstices come up, and you want to be positive all the time, but especially at these times. Okay. Because you're going to see something be delivered from it. Okay. The energy is intense. Okay. And the universe is listening. Okay. There is a 24/7 flow. You plant the seed, and there's a clock that's always ticking. 24-hour flow. Okay. You plant the seed in the 12 hours of shadow. You plant the seed in the 12 hours of shadow, the feminine energy. Okay. Think about a little bit of a mushroom because mushrooms, they come from death, really, decay, moisture. And, that moisture is where the mushrooms, you don't see them or anything, but they grow from that. And that's the energy of death, really. I think about that death tarot card. You have to have an ending, a death, in order to have a birth. Okay. Even in death, that's something that's dead. That is, there's life in everything, right? That's something that's dead. It's decayed, but life still came from it. Okay. So just consider these things. All right. Okay. Shadow and light, 50-50, the soil. Okay. And this is fertile grounds. Okay. Plant the seeds in the 12 hours Plant the seed in the 12 hours of shadow, the feminine mushroom kind of energy, and you water it with the 12 hours of light, the masculine sun energy. Hear me out. That masculine and feminine. You plant the seed in the 12 hours of shadow, the feminine energy, and you water it with the 12 hours of light, the masculine sun energy. So this is a dance. Feminine and masculine coming together in harmony. At 10:46 a.m. on Friday, the sun rose to its highest point, and now it's time for your roses to rise. These are your manifestations. And you know that roses right now, they're not up yet. But I want you to look at these as your manifestations. What you're thinking, what you're planning right now. What are you planning and what do you want to see rise? And just think about roses, okay? They're the highest frequency flower that there is. They have the highest frequency, okay? You want to be on that high frequency, positive thoughts, all that. So it's time for your roses to rise. It's coming. Think about it. It's coming, okay? Manifestation isn't just a dream. It's a 24/7 partnership. It's the mushrooms popping in the dark and the roses blooming in the light. So Friday, the earth was wide open and ready to receive. Ready to receive. So you should have been thinking, plant. That was the time for you to plant your seeds. Whether it was a project, a dream, a new version of you, okay? Round and round the clock, we are birthing these things into reality. It's so said that in the law of attraction community, you're always attracting. You are all, people don't want to believe in spells, but, that's why it's called spelling. English, spelling. You're saying it all, you're saying things to the universe and the universe is listening. What are you saying? What are you spelling out to the universe? It's a spell. It's so said to be that way. So what are you saying? What are you telling the universe? What are you putting out there with your mouth that you can say a divine energy gave you this, divine energy. You might want to say God with a mouth that, okay, if you believe in God, God gave you that mouth, or the divine gave you that mouth. It's a manifestation of that. With that mouth given in that way, why would you choose to put yourself down? Why would you choose to talk negatively about yourself? Why would you choose to call negativity into your life with your mouth? Okay, so here we go. Okay, where was it today? They're wide open, giving and receiving. Seeds are being planted, whether you like it or not, and whether you know it or not. Seeds are being planted, okay? Seeds are being planted. And what do you want to see from this? What kind of flowers do you want to see? What kind of things do you want to see grow from, the seeds that you are planting? You're always planting. Sun and the moon, the universe is always listening, okay? It's always a dance. Sunset songs, okay? All right. These equinoxes, it's all magical, okay? While roses are classically and universally feminine, representing the heart, beauty, and unfolding, mushrooms are actually a bit more mysterious. They are the ultimate bridge between the two. The gender of a mushroom, the gender of the mushroom, the feminine side, okay? Symbolically, the gender of the mushroom, the feminine side. Symbolically, mushrooms have been linked to femininity in old magic for centuries. They grow in the dark, they are meek yet powerful, and they represent the womb of the earth. Okay? This makes me think about my shadow girl Sherry, my shadow girl persona. They represent the wisdom that thrives in the unseen. Okay? Thrives in the unseen. Just because you don't see it, it doesn't mean it's not there. Okay? Doesn't mean it's not there. All right. The masculine side. Physically, the fruiting body of the mushroom, the part we see popping up, has often been associated with masculine, phallic energy and the spark of life. It is the thrust of nature rising to the occasion. The non-binary mastery. Scientifically, some mushrooms have thousands of sexes or mating types. This makes them the perfect symbol for unity. They don't fit into a simple this or that box. They are both and neither. The rose and the mushroom, marriage, okay? 24/7 balance, perfectly. Okay, feature, okay? The energy, the rose, the feminine, the bloom, visible beauty. Again, all right? The energy. Think about the rose. It's feminine. The energy of a rose is feminine. Feminine energy. The bloom, okay? Visible beauty. The mushroom, the union, okay? The quickening, instant manifestation. Okay? Location, reaching for the sun, light, okay? This is the rose, okay? Reaching for the sun. The sun or the rose reaches for the sun, the light, okay? Now, the mushroom, the union, okay? Mushrooms, they are connected to the mycelium, I hope I pronounced that, the shadow network. Okay, my message to you, we are blossoming into power, okay? I'm blossoming into power, and so are you, okay? All right, blossoming into power, and pretty soon we're going to have April. We're going to leave out of March. We're going to move into April, and with April showers, there will be May flowers, okay? We are blossoming into our power. We are growing every day, and I'm hoping that my community is going to grow. Here on TikTok, I'm under, you can find Shadow Girl Sherry Shadow Closet, okay? And my main channel is called Sunset Songs, and you would want to find me on YouTube under Sunset Songs, Sherry Shadow Closet, Shadow Girl Sherry, okay? And my main channel is called Sunset Songs, okay? And there are lots of channels that go by the name Sunset Songs, but I can't help that when I came up with that name, I explained it in the last live that I did. I couldn't help it when I came up with that name Sunset Songs. It just fit with me. It made perfect sense. I felt it in my heart, and I'm like, I got to keep that. And when you find me on YouTube, you're basically my channel Sunset Songs. You're basically the symbol is it's a circle, and it's got the word Sunset Songs in it. In the word I combine the colors that I think of when I think about a perfect sunset, okay? In a perfect sunset, there's a couple of different colors, but the ones that I thought of and I think went together the most was pink and orange, okay? And that, to me, that's a beautiful sunset. Those colors are in a beautiful sunset. Now, I would add a little purple, add a little bit of red, and that makes it look like a sunset for like lovers, like, right? But I had, Sunset Songs, I had to pick two colors. I think the pink is the sunset, and I think the songs is in orange, but those are the colors that you're looking for. The symbol is a circle, because when you have that circle, both the sun and the moon are circular. Okay. The sun and the moon are circular, and it's a circle. So that was perfect. And if you think about it, the sun and the moon, when they meet when they meet in the middle, that would be a half. So this is the whole idea of this spring equinox, Sunset Songs, all this. But I just want you to think about these things. And when you click on the Sunset Songs, you're going to know that you got the right one. Obviously, I've told you what it looks like, but when you click on it, you're going to hear my voice, and I'm going to be talking about this is Shadow Girl Sherry, all right? So, and this is all about my personal journey with the law of attraction, right? So, okay, my message, we are blooming into our power, okay? And think about this, and you might want to say it. I am rising from the dark, ready for anything and everything, okay? This is just, it might want to be a little bit something you might want to say when you wake up in the morning, okay? Okay. The sun rose at 10:46 a.m. on Friday, and now the roses at 10:46 a.m. on Friday. 10:46 a.m. on Friday. The sun rose, and now the roses are rising too. That's our feminine beauty unfolding. But don't overlook the mushrooms. Okay, this is a Shadow Girl Sherry exclusive. Okay, the sun rose at 10:46 a.m. This is a Shadow Girl Sherry exclusive. Okay, the sun rose at 10:46 a.m. on Friday, and now the roses are rising too. Think about those seeds. Whatever seeds you're planting, they're growing. Okay, they're going to rise, and that's our feminine beauty unfolding. But don't overlook the mushrooms. Okay, that's the shadow side of it. Don't overlook the mushrooms, because mushrooms are hard to overlook anyway. Okay, they represent the sacred marriage. They have the strength of the masculine to push through the dirt, but they carry the magic of the feminine shadow. Okay, it's a round and round the clock dance. You need the beauty of the rose for the day and the magic of the mushroom for the night. 24/7, we are birthing a whole new world. Okay, the rose versus the mushroom, the breakdown. Okay, the mushroom represents the shadow network. Okay, the underground web. But just because you don't see it, it doesn't mean it's not there. Okay, doesn't mean it's not there. Okay. All right, and this is just a Shadow Girl Sherry exclusive. So there is a metabolic magic to the mushroom. They are the ultimate masters of transmutation, taking what is dead and turning it into light. The metabolic magic of the mushroom. They are the ultimate masters of transmutation, taking what is dead and turning it into life. Because, mushrooms, they grow from decay, but there's growth from it. There's life in that dead energy, decay, still there. Okay, so and I want you to think of, when you think about that, I want you to think about that 2025 energy. That 2025 was the year of the snake. Mushrooms kind of look like snakes, and snakes kind of look like, well, I'm sorry, snakes are kind of like a phallic symbol as well. And you think about even, there was that snake that was said to be in the Garden of Eden. But it's also kind of like a phallic kind of symbol. Okay, I don't want to think too weird, but I mean, look it up. It's you get what I'm saying. You could look it up and you'll hear about it. It's not just me. Okay, so but there's that energy. But think about the year 2025. 2025 was the year of the snake, the wood snake. The Chinese New Year was the Chinese year of the wood snake, and the whole idea of the 2025 energy. The year of the snake, it was a symbol of change. It was a time of change. When you have change, you have transformation. And why are snakes a symbol of change? Because they shed their skin, and when they shed their skin, they're leaving the old behind. What no longer serves them, they are moving away from, and they're moving forward. Okay, so the idea of 2025 was to clear out old energies so you could transmute and leave the old behind. And then now you have the year of the fire horse, and that fiery horse is burning what no longer serves, and you're moving forward. Okay, and I described that when I was talking about Bonnie Tyler and all that, but that's a couple of videos back. If you're interested in what I was talking about, I think that may have been my new moon and blood moon for that was the last new moon video that I had, and it was a blood moon. So anyhow, so that's a whole other song and everything. But basically the idea of the year 2025, clearing out that energy, getting rid of the old, and shedding that skin and having it transmute into the new, leaving that old behind to step into the new. Okay, and when you look at this, the imagery that, right now, it's moving forward. Okay, stepping out of that dark and into the light. Okay, so just clearing that energy. And here is how that life within death energy breaks down. Okay. And guys, I'm not going to be able to stay on much longer. I wanted to get farther ahead, but I was really wanting everyone to know why I was talking about this phallic like mushroom energy, and you wouldn't think it was weird. You could see what I was trying to deliver to you. Okay, that's what took me so long to jump into this. If I have to finish more up, I'll read just a little bit more, but I'm gonna have to be respectful of the fact that I don't live alone, and I'll have to be shutting down. And I do apologize. I'm gonna read to a point. And then I think from some point, I'm going to bring this whole idea. It may be that I might make this the sunset song for maybe the next Equinox, because it's a beautiful song and I haven't gotten it all out. So just a little bit more and I'm going to have to close this live down. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching, because in the beginning, I think my phone was like at 70-some%. I'm now at 29%. So, this has been a I can't wait to see how many people, I'm curious as to how many people join me for this live, because I was very, very excited, very, very happy when I was working through the notes and how it all came together, and I wanted to deliver the message to you all. So the alchemist, okay, we're going to kind of break this energy down here. I'm going to tell you a little bit more, and then I'm at the end this live. So here is how that life within death energy breaks down. Number one, the alchemists of the earth. Mushrooms are saprobes. I'm going to spell it saprobes, and within that word I see the word robes. And I'm thinking about a robe, two robes dropping, and you know how it goes. But mushrooms, I've said what they are, meaning they live on decaying matter, fallen trees. Mushrooms live on decaying matter, fallen trees, old leaves, rotted material. Okay, the spiritual meaning, they don't see rot as an ending. They see it as fuel. Okay. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of a Shadow Girl Sherry lesson here. Okay. The dead parts of our lives, the old patterns, the 2025 heartbreaks, the things that feel rotted, are actually the exact fertilizer needed for the 2026 manifestations that we are bringing to light now. Okay. All those things, they were fertilizer. These old things that we went through, the heartbreaks, the hardships, all that, we're leaving it behind. But at the same time, it was fertilizer, okay, needed for the 2026 manifestations, okay. The marriage of moisture and shadow, the feminine womb, okay. They need that moisture in that deep, cool, dark. This is the womb phase, the resurrection. Even in the depths of death, the mushroom finds the spark. It proves that life is 24/7. It doesn't stop just because something died. It just changes form. The mycelium network, I hope I pronounced that right. I've spelled it already. The mycelium network, that underground web, okay, that I already talked about. Okay, the mycelium is called the mycelium. The wood wide web. Guys, I'm sorry. What do we say about men? They get a woody, a hard on, whatever. Guys, just hear me out. Okay. The message. Okay. The wood wide web. It's a massive hidden network that connects all the trees and plants in a forest. The message. While the rose stands alone and beautiful in the sun, the mushroom is connected to everyone and everything in the shadow. It shares nutrients and information. It's the community energy. Okay. We look at the mushroom and think of the dark, the rot, and the death of the forest floor. But the mushroom knows better. It takes that old decayed energy and turns it into a miracle overnight. Okay. It's that round and round the clock energy. Life doesn't just stop when it hits the shadow. It goes underground to reorganize. At 10:46 a.m. on Friday, the sun gave the signal, and then that hidden network, the mycelium, it's pulsing with life. You aren't just planting seeds. You weren't just planting seeds then. that day. You were rising from the very things you thought were over. It's a 24/7 birth. Transmutation, the mycelium network, a hidden connection, all this, guys. I hope you got all that, okay? The connected underground, okay? Okay. This is just the shadow wisdom that I'm bringing to you guys, okay? 24/7 with high energy, 24/7, that 24/7 rhythm of the equinox, okay? There, I'm going to quickly say this, and pretty soon I'm going to shut down. At 10:46 a.m. on Friday, the Underground Awakening Equinox 2026. Underground Awakening, the Underground Awakening Equinox 2026. At 10:46 a.m. Friday morning, the sun stood directly over the equator, hitting that perfect 50-50 balance of light and shadow, while the world was watching the roses rise into the light. Okay? Just think about this. Roses and rising and suns and all this different stuff. Okay? All these different things were happening in the dark. Okay? All these things are coming out of the darkness, is, the unseen. Okay? And I'm thinking about mushrooms. They are the ultimate masters of shadow. They take what's rotted, the old energy of 2025, the things that had to die, and they took it and they turned it into life. They didn't see, don't think about death. Think about fertilizer. Deep beneath our feet is the mycelium, a hidden shadow network that connects every tree and flower in the forest. It's a 24/7 conversation happening in the moisture in the dark. Okay? It's around and around the clock. Okay? Even when you can't see the growth, the network is pulsing. Okay? On Friday, the masculine sun rose to the occasion. The feminine earth received that fire. The union happened. Okay? We are birthing our manifestations from the very depths of what we thought was over. The very depths of what we thought was over. Okay? So for my 24/7, shadow family, you guys, just calling you guys out. You weren't just planting a seed, okay? You're not just planting seeds. You weren't just planting seeds on Friday. You were plugging into the network. Whether you were blooming like a rose or rising like a mushroom, whether you were blooming like a rose or rising like a mushroom from the shadow, you were in perfect balance. Okay? And just think, 365 days of the year. This is 24/7. Okay? And we are rising together, guys. We are rising. Okay? And guys, I think from right there, that is where I'm gonna get ready and to conclude here. Okay? Okay? And I just want you to think about a deep red rose. You can look at the roses that are present here in this visual. I want you to think about the color of a deep red rose blooming in the sun on one side. Here it is. And a glowing mystical mushroom. Okay, the mystical glow of mushrooms emerging from the dark moss. Okay, this is connected underneath by golden glowing threads of the mycelium. Okay, this is a shadow network. Okay, a 24/7 connection, guys. Okay. Now, guys, at that point, a couple of days ago was the start of Aries season. And that is where I'm gonna have to start my next video. And from that point, that's going to be the last point. Obviously, guys, I'm talking about this whole energy of a spring fling, and I'm talking about the energy of a spring fling. I'm going to be talking about flowers and all that. But I haven't finished this video quite. But at the same time, it's okay because we're still dealing with that spring fling energy. Spring is still flowing and the flowers are still blooming. So I can still come back and talk about this, right? But from this point, I'm gonna have to stop. But I know where I'm gonna stop here because I know I'm gonna be able to pick up from this point because I'm gonna be able to talk about Aries season because right now we are in Aries season. Okay, Aries season has begun, and that is that Ram energy. So that's where I'm going to stop here, and I know that I'm going to find some kind of way to weave all this wonder into my next video. Even though, guys, I totally had another idea that I wanted to start off from, but I'm going to see how this is going to work. I'm going to pull it all together because guys, I put so much work into my notes, and I have so much fun bringing it all together. I definitely love, when I come up with the sunset song, and then how everything is kind of secretly, I'll find out little synchronicities and things, and I love coming up with my notes or whatever. So, but I will pick up from that point next time. I'll find a way to weave it in there. So guys, I got to figure out how to shut this down. I can't wait to see how many people actually join my live. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed, the message just as much as I enjoyed delivering it. Okay. Just as much as I enjoy delivering it. But right now, I got to figure out how to close this live down. Guys, I want to thank you so much for joining me. I'm just trying to figure out how to close this down because I got a kind of like a little bit of a forgetful kind of ADHD kind of way about me. So, but guys, I hope you get what I was saying, the whole visual and everything. Shadow Girl Sherry, and just looking ahead, the fact that I am a Gemini, but all together, we as one, this community, no matter what zodiac sign you were born under, no matter what your sun sign is, no matter what your moon sign is, we all together as a collective, we are looking ahead. We're leaving the old behind. That year of the wood snake, we're living that year of the 2025 year, that energy of the snake. We're shedding that skin. We're leaving it behind. We're walking out of that darkness, that shadow, and into the light. It's springtime, and the days, my channel's called Sunset Songs. The days are growing longer. Okay. The days are growing longer. Okay. And I hope this all made sense to you. I try to make it look like a love story, a spring fling. But I wanted you to hear the beauty of nature. Okay. The beauty of nature, and to realize that this energy of nature is within you as well. The five senses, you have five senses, the five elements. All these elements are within you as well. The water, the fire, the heat, all that. It's all within you as well. Okay. It's just about connecting. It's about connection and alignment. The chakras, all that coming together, the rainbow, your manifestations, the darkness and the light. Okay. It all works together, right? 24/7, 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Okay. Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday. I'm trying to think of the lyrics of the song. Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday. 24. In that, as much as I love the song, Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Round and round the clock 2 times. Ooh, your love is mine, oh mine. Guys, you get it. Those are the lyrics, some of the lyrics to the song. It's a beautiful song. Again, the sunset song for this episode, and probably the next episode, and the last episode for the spring fling. Talking about the spring equinox, I picked a beautiful love song. It was a song, I think it was 1989. I'll be reading from the notes next time, but and I sang a little. You guys got me to sing a little bit there, or hum, or whatever. The lyrics, the sunset song for this episode was a song by his stage name was Dino, okay, but his real name is Dean Esposito, and the song is called 24/7. I hope that you will choose to go ahead and look the song up, guys. And in one of these videos, whatever, tell me what you think of the song. Let me know what you think. Did you like it? Did you think it was silly? Whatever, just let me know. Just leave your thoughts in the comments, and just let me know what's up, guys. Let me know what's up. And guys, we are looking ahead. This is Shadow Girl Sherry trying to figure out how to sign out. All right. All right. Okay. Look, and it's telling me TikTok is telling me to go live for 45 minutes. And I'm thinking about when you add 4 and 5 together, that makes 9. And 9 is the number that is associated with change. 9 is you take 5, 4 and 5, you add them up, you got the number 9. It is a number, 9 is the number of change. Last year, 2025 was a number 9 year. And 9 is a very feminine number because you think about it, feminine energy, feminine. Okay. And it takes a woman 9 months. 9 months it takes for a baby to grow, manifestation. And once you have that ninth month, she delivers, and that's the baby, manifestation, new life. Okay. It's a dramatic change. Okay, so that was perfect. But guys, with that being said, I've got to end this live. I can't go for another 45 minutes. I can't do that. Even though it says here I would reach a whole another stage. And guys, I've been talking about coming out on a stage. The first time that I went live, I described it as coming lights, camera, action, and stepping out onto a stage. And me giving up stage fright, okay? Because I went live, right? Giving up a little bit of stage fright. Still a little bit of a cowardly lion because I didn't, you don't know what I look like, but hey, we're still stepping forward, right? So we're looking ahead. And guys, this is Shadow Girl Sherry signing out. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me tonight for this live. And I'm wishing you so much love and so much luck, so much laughter, and so many beautiful days we have ahead, guys. The days are getting the nights are getting shorter and the days are getting longer, and we are stepping forward together, guys. This is Shadow Girl Sherry signing out. I want to thank everyone for watching me. This is Shadow Girl Sherry, and guys, I liked my own live. I didn't mean to do that, but anyhow I did. So I didn't know what I was doing, but anyhow, I did like my live, and I like my life. And I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. This is Shadow Girl Sherry, and this is basically, guys, going to be the sunset song, a bit of a kiss between the sun and the moon, and we are saying goodnight. This is Shadow Girl Sherry signing out. Thank you so much, and take care. Sweet dreams.